Okay, yeah, so this setup today, Edelrid Fuse and Diffuser shock absorber. I've tested it with the smaller version and a Petzl ring here. I'm yet to try it with the rescue version. It's slightly bulkier, but it will take a harder hit. It's designed for two people. And the other thing I'm using is a couple of these, so these Velcro hook loops, again made by Edelrid, so they're to store fall-arrest lanyards, so that they can basically it's a safe place to put a separate fall-arrest lanyard. It'll pull in the event of a fall. So that's what I'm using. Yeah, and when it's assembled, it's looking like this. So the hook loops go through the arm of the fuse at the back here, and yeah, that's ready to be put onto the harness. So this I'm putting around the waist loop, the ring's going around the waist loop, and these are going through the tie-in waist point to hold it in position. Okay guys, so here's the setup I was just playing around with. Same old silent partner there as the main. That could be a gree or I don't know, whatever you're using. And then the dead side coming into the fuse. So previously what I was doing was I was just having the fuse installed into this top tie-in point with the micro traction below, but I wanted to see if I could incorporate this shock absorbing system. So we've got the Petzl D-ring there through the waist loop of the harness. I've taken it through the gear loop of this Metolius harness as well, just to give me a little bit of separation. And then we've got these two Velcro hook loops into the waist point, the waist tie-in point, just to keep it positioned here. And then the traction below to take the weight of the dead rope. So yeah, I found I get better pull like this as well. The feed seems to be better than having it hard wired into the harness. It seems to give me more, because it can move a bit more. I seem to get a bit better flow with that. And yeah, so it's just if we were to take a fall onto this hard enough, then so if I was to just lock it, if enough energy is created, then the hook loops will tear off, and then the shock absorbing lanyard can come into play. Yeah, so that was kind of the idea behind it. So yeah, that's what I've used at the moment. I'm not sure what sort of weight one of these will go at in terms of how much rope weight will make one of these tear, so I've chosen to use two for now. Yeah, that's the thought behind that. Like I said, I'm not quite sure what one will tear at. So, but they're just to support it, basically, just to keep it in position. I think at some point I'll try out the two-person shock absorber. It'll take a harder fall. It's a tiny little bit more bulky, so there'll be a little bit more going on there here at the side. So yeah, that's it. That's what it is. So forgot to mention as well, I have experimented with putting it this side, and that caused me to want to tie a knot in the webbing of the harness here, in case the Petzl ring slid into the quick release buckle and forced it to open. So yeah, I've put an overhand knot in the webbing. I've actually started to do that every time I climb now. I tend to find that the webbing falls out of the elastic keeper every time I climb, so I'm just going with that as normal practice now. Yeah, cheers.